Ah, I left it on that. Okay, no problem. No problem. Here's what we can do. That's all. I will just reboot my Kali box. So when working with Metasploitable, because it's kind of a commercial target, and if you work with it on the NAT network, it's okay. Not that big of a deal. It actually kind of works a little bit better if it's on the NAT network and your Kali box is on the NAT network too. So I'm going to change my adapter from BMNet1 to NAT. Okay, and I'm going to restart. Who's worked through Lab 2 already? One person? Nobody else has? Oops.
Should you get extra credit for being the first one?
No,
Oh.
not on Lab 2. Lab 2 I feel is a lot easier than Lab 1. A lot easier. So there's documentation online you can go and find and use. Just okay. Just okay. Alright, so I need to get an IP address.
No. Hey, buddy, you know the video you were recording? Could you post it and send it to me the first time over? I missed it. I was having a hard time. That's now.
Alright, so I'm on the NAT network. Now, I gotta find Metasploitable. Metasploitable comes up and it grabs a DHCP address as well. So I cannot tell you what the IP address of Metasploitable is gonna be. Because guess what? Your NAT network is gonna be different than mine. It's gonna be different than the person sitting next to you. I don't know. That's okay. Here's how you find it. You do a scan. Okay, you can scan your network, or you know how your DHCP is set up. I've got .129. Maybe it was like .128. Ooh, that was promising. All right. Pull up scanner. Pull up ZenMap or Nmap. See what you get. Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely Metasploitable. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. So, let's see, done with that one. Done with that one. Let's see. All right. So, up to this point, basically, I've downloaded Metasploitable, put it in my virtual machine directory. I opened it up. I got it and my Kali box on the NAT network, same network, and I found its IP address. So I basically got through number one. All right. All you need for number one is to show me that thing that you did. Show me that you found it. Don't worry, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this again. But all I really want for number one is that thing.
Professor,
Yep.
you got the Metasploitable from the internet.
From SourceForge, yes.
SourceForge.
There's a link in the lab.
Okay.
Does it have to be on NAT, or we can leave it on BMNet one or whatever?
It doesn't matter as long as you get to it. As long as you can show that you can ping it and scan it and this and that and the other, that's fine.
So no internet activity?
You don't have to, but if you have it on that for whatever reason, I won't give it.
Thank you. Do you feel famous being recorded?
No, I've been recorded so many times, it's ridiculous. Okay, do an OpenBOS scan. I know a lot of you are struggling with OpenBoss. I'm sorry. It's kind of like the rite of passage. It is. It's digital pen test hazing at its best. But guess what? It's a great conversation piece when you go and you interview for these jobs. Because guess what? Because you have suffered through OpenBoss, the people who are interviewing you have probably suffered through OpenBoss. Right?
Is it used in the commercial?
Huh?
Do they use it in the commercial?
Some of them do. I use it as a commercial tool for just a second scanner, a second set of eyes, that type of thing. So yeah, it's used. And it crashes on me at work all the time. Like I said, pen test hazing. Okay, so you're gonna produce a report. You've done this a couple times to be easy. Gain root access using the Unreal IRC backdoor. Okay, not hard. Go back to Kali. Let's go back in Armitage. What does IRC stand for, people?
Sorry?
Internet Relay Chat. What is IRC used for a lot of times?
Chat.
From a hacking perspective? Command and control. Very good. Very good. Okay. So you can also do a scan when you set up Armitage. You can do this from console as well. You're just using Metasploit raw. Right? So I know that my IP was what?
128.
Oh, that's right, 128. 226, 128. Thank you. Alright? You can get rid of this one if you want to. You can just remove it. And when you're working on lab 2, you can keep it there if you want to. It doesn't matter. Not too confused. So host, nmap scan, intent scan. 192, 8, 6, 8. Hey, look at there. All kinds of good ports. Let it run through do its thing. Well, that's going. Let's reel ahead. Let's do a scan. All right, so I got to do the Unreal thing. Find a web page being served by Metasploit scan. OWASP Zap. So now we're going to start talking about doing some web application vulnerability stuff. So one of the open source tools that is used, and it's comparable to Nmap or ZenMap, is OWASP Zap. OWASP Zap is really easy. So all we got to do is find a web page on this doggone thing. Okay? So we'll come back to this in a second. Let's just open up a browser. We know our IP. We've done an Nmap scan or 2. So let's just take a look at just the IP itself. Anything come up? No. That sucks. Oh, I put HTTPS. HTTP. Maybe not. Oh, hey, there's a web page. That's cool. I have WebDAV, I have multi-date. You're going to use this a lot in Burp Suite and Deep. PHP MyAdmin. So let's just try damn vulnerable web app. Or oh, you know what? Let's do something. That's a good one. So let's just copy, that would be a URL. And let's go back to applications, web application analysis, OWASP ZAP. Okay. Load up. I'm running an older version. You might be actually running on like 2.8 or 2.9 by now.
Where do they come up with these weird names? Zenmap or Wasp, Zap.
I don't know. Hackers are creative, man. I just go with the default here, it's no big deal. And look, this is how easy this is. Oops. Paste.
Start.
Attack.
You get really happy when you attack.
This is more of a scan, all right? Looking for open ports or potential things. All right. You should not get any reds, or you should very seldom get reds. That's like really bad. You might get some mediums in the alert process, but let that run. Let it do its thing. You can come up to the alert tab, and it will show you in real time all the stuff it's finding. Yeah, as it's doing its scan, you see everything, you know, building up. It'll show you raw code. So this is where a lot of web application vulnerabilities come into play because of disclosure. Items that are left in HTML, all right? Java applets, stuff that's left in the clear that can be scanned. Okay, so all I'm looking for that one, for the OWASP ZAP, is a screenshot that you did the scan. Any screenshot will suffice. Okay, show me code, you show me that you have the alerts from the IP address, etc. You're fine. And it might take a while for it to finish the scan because it is doing a spider. It's doing a trace of all the subdirectories of the website. Don't do this with Google. It will blow your computer up. Not that I've ever done.
Wait, really? There blew up?
Hey, I get bored on Saturday nights sometimes, man. Okay. All right, back to real IRC. So I'm going to go back to Armitage. Oops. Back to Armitage. All right, now that I've done my nmap scan that's finished and everything else, okay, I can highlight it and I can go to attacks and find attacks. Okay, I hope that you never come across a system that is hosted as Metasploitable. Okay, you should only do this in training. You should never come across a client's machine that is this bad. Ever.
Why not?
It's cool.
No, you just shouldn't because.
Is it a good thing for you, like a work for you to do, project?
So, under attacks, if I right click on the computer, under attacks, IRC. See where I have an Unreal IRC backdoor? Check. Use reverse TCP connection. You want to make sure that your remote host and your local host are good. Launch.
What is that, a reverse connection?
That's actually setting up a reverse TCP connection so that you get that. Now you have a shell.
This is going to open.
So now I can interact with the box. So now I have shell 1. I can click interact. I'm in the system. All right, I can go out. CD root, PWD. I'm in root. All right, LS. There's all my main sources. CD space Etsy. I'm in Etsy. Okay, if I know a little bit about what's under Etsy, okay, I can go to different subdirectories. Alright? So that's a good one. Etsy SSH, that's great. So CD, WAC, Etsy, SSH. SSH config, nice. So I can go into SSH config, I can upload my own SSH keys, I can create my own users. See where I'm going with this? See why system administration is so handy than just, oh, I can hack into a box. Great, what do you do after you get the box? It's kind of like the dog that catches the car. Think about it. Right? Oh, she just got it. That's cool. The dog that caught the car. Yeah, dogs chasing cars. Trust me, if you go into project management in this environment, in pen testing, I guarantee you will work with some dogs that are chasing cars. And I'm not talking about that literally, I'm talking about that figuratively. Okay? A la the wonderful life of herding cats. So
the SSH config, is that like a file that you can edit with like a...
You've never set up SSH in Linux, I assume? Okay. So SSH in Linux, you basically create a user, you assign that user to a group. You can create a private key for that user on the box, private public key pair. You put the public key on the box, and then I can download the private key myself, and then I can use that to log into the box.
So if you get into the SSH config, all the information should be in there, is that fine?
No, that's where you upload. That's where you configure different pieces of information. So I can set what shell I'm gonna use. I can set up my home directory. I can lock other users out of SSH. All kinds of great stuff. Again, this is why the organizations that are out there are looking for not just people who can break into boxes, but people who know what to do after they get in. Very important. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to go over tonight?
Windows are really good.
Huh?
I'm saying, can we have stuff like this for Windows as well?
That's a little bit harder. That's why I'm always trying to improve my Windows target every quarter. And you can actually go to VulnHub. Unfortunately, since Windows is a licensed operating system, it's harder to find or come up with vulnerable boxes.
Yeah,
Right.
do it your own.
Whereas on VulnHub, you can find fun stuff to play around with. So VulnHub is basically a repository where people have built vulnerable Linux machines. You can download them. They're either in VM player, VM workstation format, or VirtualBox format. So you can actually do all this stuff in VirtualBox too. It's a little more popular in the hacking community because it's free. All right. VM Workstation I think it's just a little bit easier to use. So you can find all kinds of fun stuff in here. Some of them have step-by-step guides on the attacks that you can pull off. Some of them won't. People just upload stuff. Okay. So again, always use it in a controlled environment. And there's all levels of difficulty. Easy to, insanely hard. So if you want to practice, if you want to go for that OSCP someday, you'll spend a lot of time in this repository.
OSCP?
Offensive Security Certified Professional. It is the premier certification for pen testers.
They have too many certifications. But I was just like, so many of them. It's like, what do you do?
It's a big industry.
Depending on the field.
Guys got any questions? Yes, sir?
Have you taken the USCP?
Huh?
Have you taken the USCP?
No, I'm not taking the OSCP. I just have not had time. I've got to go sit my CEH test, and then I have an incentive to go and get my my AWS certification this year, because I have a customer that wants me to help them set up a really large environment in AWS, and they want me certified. So they said they'd give me $5,000 if I went and got a certification. I'm like, okay, maybe. You come across that though. You come across those management-based objectives sometimes. Sometimes if you go and work for an organization, they have to have certain numbers of people certified. Integration, Cisco integrators, Juniper integrators, HP integrators, they're like that all the time. And they incentivize, they will pay for your training, pay for your tests. And if it's a really, really big certification, like this used to be the way that they had people get CCIEs a long time ago. Right? When I went and I first sat my CCIE test, I never got it, but I had a $20,000 bonus if I did.
Oh.
This is like back in the early 2000s. Now they wouldn't pay me squat for a CCIE.
That means you have CCNP already.
Yeah. I've had my CCNP since 2000 and I take that back, I've had it since 99. Yeah, coming up on 20 years.
So the due date for homework 4, is it still this Sunday midnight, or could it be like maybe 20?
Let's take a look real quick.
Yeah, we have one more day.
It's October 17th? Oh God, it doesn't close.
Good. We'll sub it out next quarter.
You just gonna get points for it this quarter.
It's for 2017.
I'll see you're bluffing and raise it twice.
Come back.
No, we even black before. So we have to hear it out.
Oh no, it's Sunday, this Sunday.
I'm more worried about homework 5. The due date is 2/4. Okay, available is I'll make it the 11th.
Thank you, you really are Oprah. Thanks.
I'm in a good mood. I was in such a crappy mood when I got to campus. So the students that I saw, they just, I felt like I kicked their kitten or something. It was a horrible night. I get to this class and, I don't know, man.
It's because we're so awesome, right?
I don't know. They're like my favorite class.
It's fun. It's fun.
Huh? I think I felt like I kicked the cat of a couple of students. I thought you said I kicked the cat.
So you were talking to me and I didn't feel anything wrong.
That's all right. I was rough with him earlier, so. I felt horrible. I had a bad day.
That was homework
Lost,
4.
damn it.
You want to look at
That was
homework
section
5.
1. So if I fix it for you guys, I gotta fix it for the other ones. And then.
Homework 4.
Yeah, still February 11th.
Due date.
Oh wow, you're right, it is, dude. Well, that's just a due date though, that doesn't matter. Oh, wow, this one's not closing.
We won't close at all.
We gotta fix that. All right, now let's take a look at homework 5. Homework 5 is one I want to give you plenty of time on because it's, like I said, it's challenging, it's fun, you put a lot of time into it, but it's very time consuming. So yeah, that's one I gotta fix here.
Yeah, let's do this Friday.
We'll give you the 18th on that one. Yeah, I can't believe it's week 5. This is long.
That's too quick already.
It seems like it's like week 3 or week 2.
I agree. Let's go back to the day.
Since we can't teach the rest of our classes.
Oh, I didn't have a due date or. Yeah, I'll make sure you have plenty of time to do the stretch one. That's fun. Challenging. It's fun.
I like that.
All right, you guys got any questions? So, one note on the wireless project, the wireless lab. A lot of you guys have been doing it and missing points, and I don't care. I don't mind if you redo it if you lost points. If you're doing it at home with your home router, I just want to see that the password is set to password. If you have one of these routers that you can't set it to password, like I had a gentleman that showed me that tonight, show me that it can't be set to password, and okay, fine. I know it. You at least cracked into it. I know some of you are manipulating the password library file. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay? All right, you don't get extra points, you don't get bonus points, but still, I think you're learning a lot. Hopefully, all of you are getting something out of this class.
I'm getting a lot out of this class.
Yeah.
Really?
Class.
It's good.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm here. I want to give you guys some real world skills.
Did you update right now? Or?
Yep.
It's still showing February 4th.
Which one?
Homework 4 and last.
Let me check it. Assignments.
I just hit update.
Doesn't show.
Homework. 4.
Did you refresh your thing?
Yeah, it
Oh, I did
says
not do
due
one
February
from last
4th.
year.
It says due February 4th, but I think you extended it. But it's like it's always gonna say due on February.
Yeah,
4th.
the due date's still going to show the other one, but it does not, the homework will not close out until that date.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't think that's, no, you won't.
As
All
long
right,
as you
so,
still see
yeah,
the
I will
link.
try to go through this weekend and clean up all my due dates. Fair enough. All right, anybody else got anything? Otherwise, I'm gonna cut you all loose.
Did you grade my homework?
Midterm review. Wow. I've already had people taking the midterm. Okay? And like I said in class last week, if you go through the book and you look at the questions in the back of the book, you'll be just fine. In the back of the chapters of the book, you'll be just fine.
So that's where you're getting.
Okay? Like the average right now, the midterm is like a 96. And very similar. Some of them are verbatim. I will not lie to you. Some of them I went through and I've changed a couple things here and there. That's one of the reasons that that's only like 20% of your grade, and the labs and everything else is a lot better. Okay?
You haven't graded my lab 4.
I have not graded. I am behind a little bit on grading.
Okay.
All
I
right,
just want to make sure you got it. That's why.
Yeah.
If
If you just emailed it to me, I'm way behind on grading.
Oh no, I emailed like
Yeah, I'm way behind on